I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Greetings and welcome. We are doing it live. We are collaborating on all three of our YouTube channels, all three of our X accounts. That would be Rice Crypto, I Love Crypto, Crypto Blood, and Mind Your Biz. Links are down below. We're also streaming on our X accounts, and I am streaming on my Rumble. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. We're getting started here in just moments.
RiceTVx, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, vice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he stores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
Twitter, what's my phone? See me, the stands, evergreen at the sound of the sound.
Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice, the Pitbull, breaking the chain.
I'm gonna go to you. That matters for style.
In the arena where truths collide, RiceTVx, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom lights paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
Real quick, before we begin, I want to encourage you, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you are subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed. YouTube, unfortunately, has been unsubscribing a large amount of people over the past few months. So make sure you are still subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Also, make sure you are checking out my sponsor, Presearch. I have information in every video description. Presearch is a decentralized private search engine with AI that rewards.
Ready to earn big with crypto? ZoomX, the exchange used by Crypto Blood in the first season of Trading Wars, introduces Pathway. Become your own KOL and turn your influence into profit. Invite 10 friends, become an affiliate, and pocket massive 30% commissions on trades. ZoomX, your pathway to crypto success. Visit ZoomX.com, link in the description below.
So I said it before, we are live streaming on all three of our YouTube channels. We are streaming on all three of our X accounts. We have links for each other's channels down below. I'm going to go ahead and showcase here. If you guys aren't following me, make sure you're following me on the X side at RiceTVx. Make sure you're following Crypto Blood at CryptoBlood_. And make sure you're following Mr. Seth from Mind Your Biz at Mind_Your_Biz. What is going on, gentlemen? How are we doing today?
I'm here with the soundboard, baby. I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded.
You know,
I should have had my
I don't know how I
sound on.
compete with that. I gotta do something over here to sound more bass.
Good one, man. I like it.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
How is everything going with you, gentlemen? How's this past week been? Blood.
It's been hot. It's been hot up here in Michigan, man. We got a heat wave. I don't know about you guys, but staying cool. We're at least trying to.
It's definitely
Yeah,
warm
and,
here in North Carolina. Seth, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's the same crazy weather, man. Springtime, and I mean it's supposed to be kind of crypto spring too, but I'm not really. Maybe we had fall spring because the weather here's been kind of crazy too, and I'm like, it's fitting because crypto's not doing what we all thought it was supposed to do.
It's
right?
not. It's not.
Well, that is another reason to point out the fact that we should shut down CERN, because apparently they are doing some really crazy stuff over there. And every day I wake up, I'm on like a new Earth. It's crazy. It's just like mind blowing. And
have you heard about these X portals or X spots around our Earth?
No. I mean, now I've heard of like ley lines and things like that.
Kind of along that lines. Yeah.
But if we're talking about portals, that's almost like some
X portals or X spots, they call them.
Yeah. Are these like are you referring to like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth? Is that where we're headed right now?
I don't know. Are we, ladies and gentlemen? I thought we were here to talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah, we had to save that conversation for an uncensored or something.
Yeah, man. I just found out about these X spots. I don't know, man. They're supposed to be portals. Some
shout
zoom
out
to the Earth, to the sun immediately. Some go to other planets. I don't know, man.
I want to shout out everybody that's watching with us right now on the X side. There's 20 people on Blood side, 16 people on my side. It shows on Mind Your Biz side, 13 on Mind Your Biz YouTube, 115, 10 on Crypto Blood side, 11 on my side. So shout out to the low numbers, shout out to the high numbers, shout out to everybody who's here. Smash that like button again. We have links for each other's channels, so definitely support what we do. Make sure you're subscribed. You can actually watch all 3 live streams, mute 2 of them, and make sure that you're smashing the like button on all of them. And then while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed. So, Blood, what are we talking about today?
Well, I think we're talking about a couple things. I mean, it sounds like we're talking primarily about Bitcoin. And Rice, I appreciate. Look, he's playing so coy, like he didn't do like major showrunner work before we got started and get all the source links and stuff. I like that. That's humility, man. But
shout out to
I think we're talking about Bitcoin. Yeah. Anyway,
we're talking about not necessarily Bob, like the project building on Bitcoin, but we're talking about building on the Bitcoin, NFTs.
Yeah.
Fungible tokens, if you just want to call them tokens, but
building non-fungible.
Well, that would be the NFT side, yeah. So non and fungible tokens. If that's not confusing enough. So again, we appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. We have links down below for everything that we're going to be sharing. The interesting thing, and before we started talking, before we went live, one thing that we will say as a disclaimer right out the way is we're not super knowledgeable on this topic. We have grazed over it and have some knowledge, but we aren't going to be doing like a deep dive into what these protocols are. We're really just going to try to go over what they are, what the differences are, and why it's important to see these things happening on Bitcoin, because it leads into a bigger argument of something that took place back in 2017 when we ended up seeing Bitcoin hard fork.
Hard fork. Okay, yeah.
And Bitcoin Cash created, and the argument over that, because it kind of comes back full circle to that.
Yeah.
So
so Rice, to your point, let me just kind of like my like 2 Satoshis here too. Sorry, Blood, I had to like on that topic right there. But as far as being able to discuss it, kind of disclosure for me lately, what I've been doing in crypto is a lot more on kind of the early project side and advisory work there. And man, narratives move markets. Blood already knows this guy who makes his paycheck just on predicting what markets are about to do, right? And being that savvy investor and sometimes trader. So he knows these narratives move markets, and the tech is good, but but more important is the narrative. So I think being able to look back, like you said, from 2017 days and see how we had these character arcs, right, in Bitcoin. Narrative, even we had like multiple characters with not Bitcoin Cash, but then Bitcoin ABC versus Bitcoin SV, and all of the fallout there, and kind of the development track that the BCH community and the BSV community did, and how that fed back now into a mainstream narrative where they had to incept that idea back into Bitcoin. So no, I mean, Rice, on that level, I'm really excited to talk about it because I think that there is real substance for anybody who's looking at it with an investor, mindset, or or if they're just looking at it to think, to ask, like, should I do the deep dive on the tech for myself? Is that necessary yet? Because I think the narratives, they get the hook in people first.
No, I agree.
And in my take is, I don't know what your title for your video, you guys, what your title was, but I kind of made mine a spin on it. Is Bitcoin able to scale with these creative, technological implementations? And that's kind of where I want to go with it, because without them, Bitcoin can't scale. So I guess we can give the cliff notes.
The problem is with them, if Bitcoin doesn't scale, it causes a problem,
right?
Because,
and it may force them
to
the
scale. Network get clogged up, right? And that's kind of what we were talking about. So I did that interview about a year ago. It's in my video description. I'll play a clip from it here at some point with the
play it now,
creators. Man. Okay, well I'll get it set up. So the creator of Stamps came on the show and he explained to me what the difference between what makes stamps more permanent versus at the time, because runes weren't out, versus ordinals. Because at the time there was some discussion that had led on through the beginning of this year, where one of the core developers in charge of the Bitcoin improvement proposals, Luke Dash Jr., was calling for censorship on the Bitcoin blockchain. And censoring out the and essentially they could do it with runes as well, but runes, ordinals, BRC, any of the anything that's not stamps related, SRC. So
and Rice,
confusing as that is.
Sorry for the interruption here, man. Just really, really briefly, something else that wasn't as obvious, talking about narratives, because we were all focused on the sexy investment quality stuff like runes and ordinals, whatever else. Luke Dash Jr. also censored out the best current privacy protocol for Bitcoin, called Whirlpool, with the Samurai wallet devs. So
there was other things too that have been eliminated that a lot of people are talking about reintroducing. The other thing that I want to point out too before we play this clip, and I don't know if Blood's familiar with this, but and we'll go over some of the history. There was some things with Counterparty and Rare Pepes and things that had happened prior to the creation of ordinals. So there was some activity happening, but a lot of this took place from what I understand, BSV developers that were doing this already on the BSV end and decided to come over to Bitcoin and do it. And that would lead us back into when we discuss the scaling aspect of things. Because to me, it was while I was doing this interview, towards the end of the interview, I had this aha moment. And that aha moment was because I was like, why aren't you guys doing this on Litecoin? It just makes more sense. But then it's that aha. It's like, oh, these guys are trying to force core to scale. Oh, genius move. So let me know if you guys can hear this and we'll keep going.
20. That's the easiest way I can explain.
You hear it? Yeah. You guys aren't telling me. Could you hear that?
Yeah, we both gave you thumbs. We were trying to be quiet.
Okay. I'm like shifting through screens. Sorry. Let me go ahead and play.
We're both, like streaming partners etiquette. Like,
okay, that makes sense. All right. So how do stamps guarantee greater permanence than other protocols? Because we're seeing the conversation being brought up that I want to talk about later about banning ordinals or BRC20 tokens. So how do stamps guarantee that greater permanence?
Right. So what it comes down to is we store the data within the UTXO set. The UTXO set is a piece of the blockchain that needs to be persistent across all nodes, full nodes, prune nodes, pre-segwit nodes, post-segwit nodes. And what this means is that the data persists across the entire ecosystem of nodes. It can't be removed from the blockchain. Now, when you contrast that with how Ordinals works, they store the data in what's called the witness data. And there's a benefit for doing this. By storing the data there, they do get what's called a witness discount. So they're able to put the data on chain at a reasonable price. the thing is that that data, once it's validated, it can be discarded. So the way it works is when you bootstrap a full node, the node starts downloading the blockchain data, and once it validates the witness part, it can safely discard that data. The problem there is there go your inscriptions, right? So the core difference between ordinals and stamps is that the data persists across all nodes with stamps, while with ordinals, it's a lot easier to discard that data. And we're already seeing some moves towards that within the Bitcoin core devs on the mailing list. They're already talking about ways of removing that data from the initial block download.
Yeah, and I guess since you brought it up, we can go ahead and discuss that for a moment. What I want to make sure that I'm understanding is the ordinals are stored in segregated witness data.
Yep.
And then the way that stamps are stored, they're directly on Bitcoin's UTXOs, which is the unspent transaction outputs.
Exactly.
Okay, what is a UTXO for people that are unfamiliar with that terminology?
This is interesting.
Like listen to this. Aside from the fact that it's unspent transaction outputs.
Right. Well, I mean, basically, the concept of a Bitcoin doesn't really exist. All that really exists are unspent outputs. So you have these. When I send you some Bitcoin, there's inputs there, and then there are outputs, and then those outputs become inputs on your end. So, so basically, the idea with stamps is we're basically storing the data within those outputs themselves, and that requires that nodes keep that data within the UTXO set.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you would have to eliminate the UTXO in order to censor or get rid of stamps or SRC20s. Whereas because ordinals and runes store in the witness data from SegWit with a combination of Taproot, it's apparently easily prunable.
Yeah, I've been in the space for so long and never knew that concept that Bitcoins aren't really being like, it's not like there's like no an Ethereum token. Yeah, there's no like Ethereum token that I'm sending. Right. That's pretty interesting. Round of applause for that. Learn something new today.
Yeah.
What did you think about Mr. Tech Guy, Mr. Miner of Bitcoins?
No, it's phenomenal. Yeah, because I mean, so pruned nodes. Man, here's the thing, Blood. Like you said, it's being an OG in the space the way that you are. Like you've forgotten more than most people will ever even know. To be honest, right? Like there's so much that you have to just keep on throwing at yourself.
He forgot about his millions of Dogecoin. He forgot about those.
I forgot the password. Yeah, I gotta take some time out. I gotta do some Zen and yoga and clear my mind so I can get that password.
We can talk about that sometime, and yeah, come up with a strategy. But the state of the art there for the tools is it's getting really, really good, right? So no, as far as the tech though, like so Rice, like you're asking, no, it's great. Being able to commit data on chain is like the narrative of this cycle, because people are starting to realize that hashed data on a chain where you're really relying on IPFS or some other permaweb solutions provider, that it's just like we've lived long enough in crypto now that we've seen IPFS fail certain projects and seen hash data on other NFTs and tokens fail those projects. So everybody is they've finally been asking the question, okay, how do we leave everything else behind and make anything that we're going to do on chain be native to the chain? It's great. So stamps are that final iteration. I'm for it. Like,
but people, and that's a crazy thing. Just because I don't know if it has to do with marketing or whatever, but runes and ordinals are the ones getting all the hype. Now, I believe that if you listen to the whole interview, I believe that it's, and I don't know if something has changed since then, it's more expensive to create the stamps, but you're also paying for that permanence too. And I don't think it's outrageously that much of a difference, but and there may be a limitation on artwork because you're seeing a lot of 8-bit related stuff, especially in the early Ordinals days, which was just about a year or so ago. But
and then Seth talked about, can you bring this up too? Before we went live, Seth, he talked about a lot of these inscriptions, if you want to call them, just group them all into inscriptions. I think they're all under that category, possibly.
Sure.
But you said when mixing them up, you lose them as well, right? You said so.
Yes.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, no, that's accurate. So I mean, I'm glad we're doing this like at this level of blockchain education. Unspent transaction outputs, UTXOs, the one of the best privacy tools going for it has been so far been Whirlpool. It's a type of coin join. If that sounds familiar to the audience right now, that's the core tech basically that was used by older privacy solutions like why can't I think? Oh my gosh, I'm Dash. It was called Dash. Yeah, sorry. I got confused because I was thinking about Luke Dash Jr. So, but the network,
Darkcoin.
But Darkcoin. There you go. Go back far enough. But it's the same tech that was used then, and then it wasn't quite well implemented, so it kind of got the privacy security or the privacy guards kind of fell a bit over time. But over all those years, the version of CoinJoin that's helped make more users and more Bitcoin the most private has been Whirlpool, made by the developers of Samurai Wallet. If they sound familiar, because they've been in the news recently, it's because they are being targeted by regulators right now. They are being harassed, and their site was seized. So even though they don't custody any funds, it's a fully permissionless protocol that they made. It's just like the Tornado Cash developers.
I was going to say,
there's been some interest in what they do.
Set the precedent. After that, I mean, the bar was so low with that move they made, OFAC made, everything is at risk.
Well,
everything.
Wasabi was using CoinJoin, and they decided to end that aspect of their wallet as well. So not just the Whirlpool. It was anything that was anything that was an actual effective mixer, as me and Blood have talked about over the past years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's the litmus test. Does it actually work for privacy? Then it's probably going to be harassed by regulators, right? Or anybody attached to is going to be given a hard time.
We're supposed to be talking Bitcoin, but I have to ask the question: why hasn't the privacy coins been attacked like the coin joins and the mixers have been?
Well, they're not being allowed to be listed on major exchanges. That's kind of an attack, I would say.
But some are,
and the IRS was putting out a bounty for breaking the encryption on Monero, which made me question whether or not they had already broken it and was just having a patsy to say who did it. Because who knows? They did have physical possession of Ricardo Spagna for a hot minute.
They did. So to your point, they absolutely did harass Monero on multiple levels, right? So threatened to delist, and then it's been delisted a couple times. And then, authorities said, hey, let's make an example of this guy, even though clearly, as I understand it, the legal issue that he was facing in South Africa was not that serious. Like, there was no real reason for authorities to try to single him out the way that they did in the U.S.
But there was an extradition warrant regardless of the seriousness. But ultimately, South Africa ended up not following through on picking him up, which is the reason why he was technically released. With the stamps and the fact that the UTXOs are stored on nodes. I don't know if you since I have an Ordinals wallet, I can see like my UTXO information and so what Mike and Space said makes more sense when I look at those things. But the way he was explaining it was the people who are storing this ultimate data have to keep those outputs in their wallet. A lot of people will take their outputs and stuff and combine them to reduce how many UTXOs they have in their wallet. And so if somebody did that by mistake, then that would essentially, I think, eliminate the stamp. Which again, it's having greater permanence is the key. Nothing has permanence as far as an NFT or an extracurricular token, because we had
I personally don't think that these experiments are going to last, but they're great experiments on the Bitcoin network. I'm talking specifically.
Well, you're OG enough. What about Counterparty? Do you remember Counterparty?
I do not.
What is the hell? What, guys? Hey, just real quick. Hey, What is it with the Rice likes to talk too much comments?
Yeah, I don't know.
Guys?
I think we all like to talk too much, but it's okay.
Pretty much. I mean, we're on YouTube talking, for no real reason, extraneously over each other because we're having a good time. Hey, all of this is consensual. Don't make it weird, okay? Don't make it weird by making comments like that. Just wanted to.
I'll do my best to shut the fuck up, man. But
hey,
we'll continue
but
here,
man. Look. Everybody here has an East Coast discussion sensibility, right? Or conversation sensibility. If you want to get a word in edgewise, you're just gonna friggin' say it. Rice
yeah, I'm pretty much that way. Yeah. We are all East Coast.
None of us have a problem with the way we communicate with each other. So the Counterparty platform extends Bitcoin's functionality by writing in the margins of regular Bitcoin transactions, opening the door for advanced features not possible with just Bitcoin Core. The Counterparty protocol and explains what it is. It's an open source, extensively tested. Besides allowing users to create and trade any kind of digital token, Counterparty enables anyone to write specific digital agreements or programs then as smart contracts and execute them on the Bitcoin blockchain. They had their XCP token. You could create your own tokens on this thing. It came out in 2014. And ultimately, I think Core changed some things within code that eliminated some of the things that Counterparty could do. So Stamps is using the underlying technology from Counterparty.
Gotcha.
So they talk about what is Counterparty. It's an open source messaging protocol.
Seth, have you heard of Counterparty?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Counterparty.
Okay.
So yeah, this is
so this is like bringing back an old idea of creating tokens. I mean, I wasn't in crypto at this time at all.
Well, no, you're gonna love this, Blood. You know the name of the project, right? On Bitcoin, it was colored coins.
Okay, I know color coins. Yes. Okay, round of applause.
Same. Yeah. So now we've.
Well, I think that's what they called the token standard was color coins. Like we use ERC and stuff like that. So I think color coins were what they would call the tokens that you created using.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's
just gonna continue.
Gosh. T Will is actually doing a really good job of keeping a receipt on because the three of us together, it's kind of dangerous with the tangents.
For people, I know that.
It's dangerous with the tangents.
I'll just bust in that bitch like.
Right. But I'm just saying for the three of us though, like we're individually we're tangent lords. We could run 2 hours straight, never talking about the core topic.
I thought I was screen sharing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so
yeah, because I had the Counterparty website pulled up and everything.
Yeah, I didn't know that name. So if in 14, bro, I was just like still just mind blown by the technology, and I wasn't even into the real cryptography part. I was in on the end user, Seth. I was just using it and just enjoying it. And by 14, Dogecoin was out, and you had a lot of these script coins. It was, so I didn't get into that aspect of it, but I did know about color coins, and so that's a byproduct of it.
And there was a DEX in 2014 too. A DEX in 2014. Because you could trade your tokens. It was kind of similar to like the XRPL in a sense.
BitShares, I do remember BitShares made a lot of progress with blockchain technology. A lot of things that we're doing today is because of BitShares.
Yeah, Mr. Create a project and move on. I won't mention any names.
Dan Lammer. I will.
So
but just real quick, this is so strange. Nothing against anyone who's has a spiritual walk, and but I get emails from Dan Lammer every day almost.
Are you on his mailing list?
Somehow it's biblical. He's talking about the Bible.
Forward it to me. I'd like to check it out. He's from Virginia. He might even still live in Virginia. So
it's very strange.
I tried to interview him back in the day.
Virginia, West Virginia. People need to know.
The real Virginia, East Virginia. The one
I was gonna say, dude, you can't follow up with something like that because I don't know which side you rep. The real Virginia.
Yeah.
Crypto Maya says because I like EOS.
My ex-wife is my sister.
You forgot the D on that like there, buddy.
So as far
Yeah,
as
I'll forward
to
it to you.
get back
Strange.
into this, how does counterparty mint Bitcoin stamps? It's an image is converted to text and encoded as a, this is really nerdy stuff, a base 64 file appending stamp before the text. The encoded file is then broadcasted to the Bitcoin network using a counterparty protocol. So it's broken down and then validated on the network, and then it recompiles the data, bringing it back to life to the original image. It's pretty crazy how it works.
No, it's pretty basic how it works. That's the thing. So some of the stuff is like yeah. So base 64 is, dude. We can open it. I'll look up. No, it's not encryption. It's just like it's just an encoding of data. So you could take like a small image file, and you can express it as a string of letters and numbers. Right. Base 64 just helps you find a way to take any other type of data and just express it as a data string. Right. That can be expressed in
serialized, basically, right?
Exactly, yeah, but it's not a hashing, right? It doesn't hash the data and force it to conform into a specific number of characters. It's it just faithfully, right? It just faithfully writes out line by line, pixel by pixel, or whatever, the entire data set of a file you give it in one string of data. Base 64 is, I mean, so I say that as a non-programmer guy, like. I've used it just for weird, stupid experiments to do.
Well, it sounds like how you would come up with like a recovery phrase almost.
Because
the recovery phrase is re-expressed in numbers, if I understand it correctly. Once you input the letters,
that's correct. Yeah, no, that's totally right. So yeah, no, this stuff is great. No, Rice, like the problem with nerding out too much is that nerding out doesn't actually pay all that well, but understanding some of the stuff a little bit better. I don't know. I think it does help with some of the other evaluations that we do with cryptos when you see them say that versus say base 58. Have you read that anywhere?
No, I haven't. I was paying attention.
Yeah,
to
we're gonna stream on this hopefully next week, guys.
Well, depending, they're saying. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Seth, as I apparently do all the time here. So
I told you that.
It looks like the courts are trying to pull a Trump on Reggie. He has court tomorrow and a big fine to pay again. And
it's ridiculous, man. And this is again why, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like Trump or not, you have to stand up for the injustice that's going on with Trump, because if they can do it to the next president, they can do it to you, and they damn sure can do it to a black man. We at the bottom of the totem pole.
The other thing, so here's where it talks a little bit about the pricing. It does say it's like a 4-time cost comparison, but I think to create ordinals, and I'm not sure about runes, takes 2 transactions as well. So whereas these are just 1 transaction, so there is kind of differences in those aspects. And
so here's my broader question to you guys and in the audience. Like, you guys have to chime in on this. What do you think will come of this experiment? I call it an experiment because I don't think it's necessarily sustainable. What do you guys think about these inscriptions and stamps and ordinals? And Seth's doing the Birdman rub right now. Go ahead, Seth. Let's go ahead and hear what Seth has to say.
Seth. So we got the two sides of this, right? We got like you mentioned, we've got the congestion of the Bitcoin blockchain, which at its current architecture of small blocks and the way that it validates transactions, just the way it currently runs, the added writing to the blockchain, it will cause congestion. We've seen it. It will cause high fees. We've seen it. But in the minds of some people, that's a feature, not a bug, because of the added incentive for security in the mining network, right? The higher the fees are and the more congested it is, the more transactions that they have to process at higher fees and higher rates, the better the miners do. The better the miners do, the more retail and institutional money we get into mining and infrastructure for Bitcoin. So it's a complex issue in that we've got an incentive to make it less efficient in a way. Like there is an incentive on the flip side, you make it unusable by congesting it that much. And then that can cause problems with these other standards. Like you're saying.
It's a very delicate balance, because if we make it unusable too quickly, it takes time for infrastructure to scale, right? So if we make it unusable too quickly, then it makes the network obsolete.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
right? You
Right,
really
which
need the infrastructure to be there first and to handle these types of things.
I would say that these guys are definitely trying to force core to scale, but at the same time, they're being conscientious of not trying to destroy the network at the same time either. They're making points. Well, it's not like it's a continual thing. It's not. I mean, the transaction fees. There was maybe a month. The transaction fees were really high. Ordinals apparently processed 2,500 Bitcoin worth of transactions, which would have went right back to the miners, and the miners would have loved that.
Yeah,
and then all of that died off, just like the markets went down.
Is that of the workings of the Ordinals and the stamps guys, or is that just free markets, ebbing and flowing, and the hype is over, so you've seen a fall, kind of a scale back in usage or creation of these inscriptions?
Could be a combination. I think it's
of
all the above. Could be a combination.
Once the tech is out there, they can't throttle it. Seth?
Well, they can't. I mean, they were talking about pruning the data for the Ordinals and the runes. So why would you, depending on who you are, why would you want to build knowing that everything that you're doing is just gone? That's literally
just blockchain. Hold on,
you might as well just send some Bitcoin to the Genesis address.
Building a blockchain in general, though, like you don't have guarantees, right? You have no assurances that 5 years down the line that the network that you're currently building on will even be around. Dude, look at the blue chip NFT collections that ghosted Ethereum. The first opportunity they had to find enough liquidity on another chain where they could just migrate, a lot of them just bounced. So now it's a weird space that we operate in. Everything's ephemeral, everything's adversarial, everyone's out to try to screw over your project, right? In a friendly way, maybe in a white hat way. Maybe they'll give you the funds back after they hack you, but everyone's trying to do it. So like you're saying, I think that there's an incentive for people to build on top of Bitcoin, even with this kind of existential threat you're talking about, Rice, where it's like, oh yeah, this could be totally disrupted. My stuff could get pruned or destroyed in a year. I think people are still doing it because Bitcoin, I mean, if you can make Bitcoin as sexy as it was 10 years ago, that would be amazing, right? I mean, I think most people agree. It would be amazing to have Bitcoin be that sexy again with all this potential, right? Being expressed with a thriving ecosystem.
Well, it's an interesting concept because, I mean, for one, the inscriptions aren't anything that I would think that Satoshi, an individual or a group, would have even thought could have come about. And it's somebody gamifying the system, utilizing different technologies to be able to do that, and to be able to take the individual Satoshis and do something with them. It kind of reminds me of like rice, like riding on rice. Like when you see like people have necklaces that have something written on a piece of rice. It's almost like, because it's a piece of rice would be like a Satoshi, and it's basically something written on a Satoshi, and it makes that, it goes back to that idea of the rare Satoshis.
Now, we are kind of conflating a few things: the fungible innovations on Bitcoin and the non-fungible. So we do have to make that differentiation.
Okay, so
because
it's confusing.
Jay Crypto Minded is talking about the runes, and runes are kind of your fungible iteration or implementation on the Bitcoin network. So just make sure.
Well, that's what's weird about it. So, and it's very confusing. So if we're just looking at Ordinals, you have the BRC20s,
right,
and Ordinals. They're grouped together, but the BRC20 would be for tokens, and the Ordinals would be for the NFT side. So stamps have SRC20s for stamps tokens and stamps for the NFTs. So there's kind of that dual side. And in one of these articles, let me get this pulled back up. Go back to the article, because this article has basically information for the Ordinals protocol and BRC20, which go together. And then there's something called ORC20, which no one really talks about. There's track and there's tap protocol. There's atomical. So these right here, apparently, from what I understand, are NFTs. Atomical protocol is NFT, and ARC20 would be from the atomicals, which would be tokens. And then you have runes, and then you have fungible pipe protocol. Runes,
I don't know much about pipe.
Runes were created by Casey Rodimer, who created the Ordinals, who I understand was a BSV developer. Going down to runes it mentions Casey Rodimer. He developed in response to the flaws he perceived in the existing network's fungible token solutions like BRC20, particularly with the creation of excessive and non-fungible UTXOs clogging the network. Runes, like Atomicals, issues fungible tokens based on the UTXO mechanism, aligning with the Bitcoin community's consensus to avoid redundant data and token transactions. Now, if that's true, and I think I read something like this. I'm supposed to be doing another interview soon with Mike in Space. I want to ask him, if that's true, then what is the difference between runes and stamps if they both store in the UTXO?
Yeah, I think so. Just from a marketer's perspective, I think one big key difference between runes and stamps is that runes has a little bit of a narrative advantage in that it is launched by the person who made who made ordinals theory popular and who kind of proposed ordinals in the first place. So there is a lot of popular attention on Casey Rodimer because of that.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of popular support, and where there's enough popular support, something becomes, you know, viable in the market. Even if the tech isn't necessarily superior, he's got a bit of support there. And like you said, it's permissionless enough and runs on the UTXOs themselves by doing it old school. It just writes to OP return, the OP return field.
The J Crypto.
So I'm opposed to same. Okay, go ahead with that first.
He was just saying, like, why would you not think that people could build that Satoshi would not think that people can build on Bitcoin? It's because it's the combination of the technologies that were used to create the ordinals at the time, which was SegWit and Taproot, which were not anything that I understand that Satoshi even spoke about, wrote about, or anything in regards to SegWit. Maybe SegWit, but definitely not Taproot.
Right. I'm gonna pose the same question to you, Rice. Do you think Bitcoin is scalable with ordinals and runes and stamps and all these inscriptions?
If we start seeing real use case with these things, and they're able to create ways that it doesn't clog up the network, then I could see it being very effective. If it is something that continues and it does continue to clog the network, then the debate about scaling is going to come about as one of the main narratives in crypto, which I kind of think is where we should be. It's where I think we were going when Roger Ver released his book before he got arrested.
Yeah.
What's going on with that whole situation? Is he still incarcerated?
I believe so, because I haven't received any communication from him. I've tried reaching out, so unless he's just not trying to talk to anybody, but I don't know.
Happy by the way, going on a tangent, happy Juneteenth, which is inside of the LGBT. Isn't this LGBT plus month too?
Oh my gosh.
Pride month, get it right.
Pride month.
Oh, Pride month. Sorry. So we got
they don't have Pride in Detroit.
We got a double situation going on here.
Yeah. They're trying to make us all intersectional.
Intersectionally black. Round of applause.
Juneteenth is it a Pride holiday? I thought Juneteenth was.
No, it's a black holiday. I'm saying it's encased.
Well, imagine if you were a black LGBTQ person, you would just feel like it's like Christmas.
It's your world. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, what's the cash tag then? I mean, we need cash app addresses, guys. I don't make the rules.
Our cash apps.
Yeah. Jokes aside. So this, let me give you a little background on this. I got bored of hypothesizing about how Satoshi would answer certain questions. So as context data, I made a custom GPT on just using OpenAI's tool. This is like, I didn't do anything fancy, but I pointed it to all of Satoshi's writings, both in the Cypherpunk listserv and then also on the early BitcoinTalk.org. Yeah. So it should be able to answer a lot of questions pretty faithfully. I had to deprogram it a little bit because OpenAI is really stupid, and so is Google. As far as their large language models, they're just really, really dumb. But it's pretty faithful. Should we try it out?
Yeah, let's try it out.
Okay, what do you want to ask?
You got a question in mind? I mean, I guess it's going to be going based off just of Satoshi's writings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask, is Bitcoin scalable? I mean, that may be too broad. You might want to, I don't know how you want to write that one.
Yeah, is Bitcoin scalable? Please describe to me how you see it scaling over its duty cycle.
Duty cycle sounds dirty.
Doesn't it? Got to harden those hashes on the duty cycle.
First thing. Look what the first thing says. I do see Segwit, but I don't see Taproot.
Yeah.
First thing, block size limit. Boom. Thank you, Satoshi.
Yep. He recognized.
So the first thing that we would have to do to scale Bitcoin is to increase.
Right? So we can really see it.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I'll pop up the text size a little bit.
Yeah, do some Reader Digest mode.
Yeah, right.
For us old people.
Yeah. I got to just commit to wearing the glasses, man. Commit to the bit. Bifocals, whatever.
I don't like the idea, and I'm not sure that Satoshi really talked about layer 2 solutions as a scalability solution. So I'm questioning.
Well, I want to say that he did. Let me see if it can.
He definitely did
sources.
talk about the Lightning Network, because I don't think that those two words existed together until like 2017, maybe 2018, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. Here we go. This is why I wanted to directly make this GPT focus on all that context data, right? So that it would bring receipts if I asked. So
that's very cool. So he did write something about SegWit, it looks like.
He shouldn't have written about SegWit directly, but yeah, no, that's just that it was featured on Bitcoin Core. So that would not have been something that Satoshi wrote about. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I am 4am said Roger's out on bail, had to surrender his passports, must stay in Spain and report every 3 days to the court. I guess that's the latest there. I know that I saw him. His personal account was active on Telegram for a minute, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't DM right now. This is probably a complicated time.
Kind of sensitive time. Yeah.
I definitely don't think he's going to be doing interviews.
No.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm with you, Jay Crypto Minded.
Me too. I agree. Yeah, neither one of us are fans of the Lightning Network. And
are you a fan of Lightning Network, Seth?
Not one bit. And you know what? Beyond that, not only am I not a fan of Lightning Network, I was telling Bitcoin maxis who were fans of Lightning Network that it was a problem in 2020 and 2021 on Clubhouse, because that's where they were all hanging out at the time.
Well, since we're bringing it up, what's up with all the wallets? The majority of U.S.-based wallets, excuse me, let me rephrase that. What is it with the majority of Lightning wallets that are not allowing U.S. users anymore?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that it just has to do with I think probably it has to do with some of the regulatory risks of setting up Lightning channels, Lightning payment channels as a U.S. person.
Right. We need a money transmitter
license,
exactly.
Money laundering, operating as a bank.
Yep. So without that MTL, without that money transmitter license, there's a serious risk, and there's no clarity on whether or not you absolutely have to have the money transmitter license, or how, or if there's going to be a separate sort of designation for doing things like this, running blockchain infrastructure as opposed to like a neobank or something. It's just, yeah. So I'm not shocked that more of those wallets are decreasing support for the U.S. as a crypto company. If I were outside of the U.S., I'd start cutting services to the U.S. too.
I mean, you're right when it comes to that, especially the uncertainty and not sure what's going to happen to you based off of continuing course.
Yeah. So Jay Crypto Minded mentions in the comments it's called centralized and afraid of the U.S. Totally. There are reasons though, even without being centralized, like we're seeing it. The developers of Tornado Cash as a protocol, they made one mistake, which was that they benefited directly, and they, and via a token as well, price action there. But they benefited too directly from what they were doing. The smart contracts themselves, though, are permissionless. There's still no tech right now that can prevent you from using Tornado Cash as a U.S. person. You're just, if you're not using something like a VPN, you're going to immediately be picked up by authorities, but you're not prevented from just navigating to the smart contracts.
And your fungible, your fungible Bitcoin will then be tainted.
Yeah,
marked with the scarlet letter.
Right, with a mixer. If that were, if we're talking about,
we talked about that before, about the idea. That's one of the reasons why Charlie Lee wanted to add fungibility to Litecoin with the MWeb sidechain was because the Bitcoin that I own may have history. I may have a Bitcoin from 2012 that maybe went through Silk Road, some weird situation, and I own it now, but it's already been tagged and flagged as being used for dirty purposes, and I can't prove I'm not that individual. So that coin could essentially be tagged to a point that once you send it to an off ramp, a centralized exchange, or whatever the case might be.
I've had that happen to a couple of friends of mine. They've used Bitcoin on a gambling site, or they've won some Bitcoin on a, you know,
they'll confiscate the Bitcoin.
And yeah, they've sent it to Coinbase, and right when they sent it there, shortly after, their account was closed and all this type of stuff.
So Bitcoin is a fungible token, because they're not all Bitcoin are the same, whereas dollars are the same.
Not good.
No, that's one of the arguments that Charlie Lee had with trying to do what he was doing with Litecoin. And there's been some issue where there's been some exchanges, since we mentioned it with private coins. There has been some exchanges that have delisted Litecoin because of that, even though they can differentiate what comes from the MWeb side. And yes, I am a father.
No, you are not the father. You know what he's referring to, right?
No.
Yeah.
What, the last stream? What did you show?
Oh yeah. But that had nothing to do with that.
Well, I mean, but you know,
I don't know. Did Seth see that? I don't think Seth saw. I don't think Seth saw.
We got to pull that up. We got to take a little.
It's just
intermission.
A quick 18 seconds. Okay.
Look at this. Look at this, Seth.
Famous last words.
Yes. Quick.
What? Where was this hidden?
It's from it's from like 15 years or so ago.
Jeez, that's amazing, man. I did not know you were Jerry Springer famous.
Yeah, that's 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, and I was telling, and I'll rehash. We'll come back with this full circle maybe in a couple weeks when I can actually expose like what this has led to. But apparently, seeing that, someone watching our stream saw that, and I mentioned the fact that the entire story was fake, and now I inspired someone else to do like this completely crazy thing, and I just can't wait to share it after the fact.
Oh man,
I'll tell you guys privately.
Mr. X, yes, that was real. That was real, my friend.
It was very real. So where were we?
With what had to be a real small guy. That dude was a midget.
No, that's why they didn't. So again, just to go back, the whole thing was fake. They didn't want me to even come out and attack him because they said it would look ridiculous because he was so small. But they were trying to do some underhanded stuff in the back end. Like the reason that we were there, like we had just met the guy. Me and the girl that I was with, we had just met the guy. We didn't know him. There was no history, nothing. But they were trying to tell me backstage that the story was real and that I thought it was a lie, but it really was happening. So, and they told me that Jerry doesn't know really much except for what's provided to him on the card. So I'm like, once you go out, you just do what you want to do. And that's what I did. And that's why I took the floor man, the bouncer, and bear hugged him and jerked him up out of my way so I could try to get the little guy again. But I never actually tried to hit him.
Can you play it one more time? I think the audience, anything for clicks, really wants to see this. Sounds like a tennis match at the Wimbledon. That sounds like a Wimbledon tennis match.
I could have done something to him, but it was like wrestling. It was, and dude, here's the other thing. I think I said it, but when you come out of that door, it's like a wrestling entrance.
You can't make this shit up. Bro.
I was so jacked up with adrenaline coming to that door. I was like, rah! it was fun.
I asked him, did he have his firearms on him? We couldn't see.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
Said, right.
I had just this portion at the time, I believe.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Just the tip. Round of applause.
Yeah, these have been like artwork in the making for a while. And then they got,
man, when I saw that, I was floored. I couldn't.
I'm getting my recoloring on my other one tomorrow. My Raven.
This is getting a little weird, ladies.
It is just a little bit. So hey, about those runes,
right? About those. Since we're talking about permanency, let's talk about those permanent runes on the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain.
No nipples.
No nipples, please.
So
yeah, thank you.
It goes up on the shoulders. I got
a he won't show you, he won't give you the episode number, anything for clicks on purpose.
Right. Yeah, and I even covered up what the episode was about with my logo so that you could, if someone finds it, maybe I'll figure out a contest. I mean, it's not like I'm embarrassed about it, but the whole thing is now I've got like more I can like leak in like small portions, and then eventually you could put the whole thing together. It's only like less than 2 minutes, I think, the entire clip. And I told you, I've never
from
seen
Thailand. From Thailand, he said it's 3 a.m. here. That's right, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Thailand.
Yeah. So hey, Rice. So at some point when you do like some heavy duty promotion of a project that you launch, like an NFT project or a token or something, you're gonna have to start making that part of your memes. It's gonna be like you versus whoever your market competitors are.
Nice.
Right?
That's a good one. I like that idea. No, I don't have leaky nipples. I'm just not trying to give anybody Woody over there, man.
Oh
I have my nipples. My nipples are pierced and all that, but I'm not. I know Seth's seen. We've seen each other's nipples, but
yeah, but it wasn't that weird.
I'm not gonna let you guys see my nipples.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm the only one who's seen.
I mean, I know it's LGBT +5 month,
look,
ladies and gentlemen.
We shared a place during Consensus one year, and Bobcat was with us too. So I think we saw.
Let me go this way. As well. You two can do your LGBT. I'll be black. Okay, it's Juneteenth.
Hey, anything for clicks, right? Anything for clicks.
Yeah, let me set the stage though. Bobcat is having a special medicinal herbal tea, right? Fungal tea. Rice is leaning out the window with an apparatus to
smoke cannabis,
clear the space, and I'm over in the kitchen field stripping firearms. Like, dude, you couldn't hire a Hollywood writer to make this scene up. Like when it was something else. Yeah, it was.
Bobcat was making mushroom tea. I was smoking herb out the window, and Seth was cleaning his firearms.
Wait a minute.
Not
where
was
firearms?
This? Not my firearms. His firearm.
Where was this?
Consensus. 22. Yeah, 22.
It was that year.
It was the year that we they had the what was that other conference?
Decentral.
Oh yeah,
Decentral, and that's where I got to meet Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh my god! Wait, so you brought the guns on the plane, Seth, to Austin,
as one does.
Amen.
Every time.
Amen. Oh, good.
Apparently, Bobcat drives. He drives.
Brother man can't bring shit on the plane. I barely can bring a lighter. They confiscate my damn cigar lighter. Goddamn plane. Round of applause.
I'm just saying, man. It's a goal. It's a goal of mine that when you're with Mind Your Biz, you're the safest you could ever be. So.
You're gonna mind your biz when you're with Mind Your Biz.
Yes, you will.
Blood, put on your white man voice and bring the stream back to focus, man. But that part, this is great. This is almost a joke too. Smooth operator over here is saying Bitcoin being able to scale. You guys are hilarious.
Yeah, there you go. Round of applause. Oh my god, I'm almost teared. Man, this is too much. This is too much. So back. Okay, guys. Gotta get back to the program here. All right.
I'm gonna pull up,
buddy.
So we talked about runes and stamps. I want to go over, pull up some stuff here about the ordinals, the BRC20s and the ordinals. But from what I'm starting to understand, the ordinals are becoming more obsolete, and people are favoring the runes over the ordinals. So, but it's still one of the more well-known. And for people that are really nerdy, check again. This is linked in the video description on my channel. I sent the link to these guys. This is really some heavy duty nerdy talk. So you definitely need to like deep dive into this if it's something that interests you, because us talking about it, we're going to definitely lose viewers. We probably get more excitement from the FOMC.
Jerry Sprint. Oh, the FOMC. Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, I think that's more exciting than reading this stuff about. In the previous section, we explored how Ordinals protocol can inscribe information into Satoshis. But how do we distinguish between these boxes that contain different items, the inscription data, and then we get the ability?
I have a question. Can the runes be can they be lost with a mix?
I think they can. You know what though? I'm not. Yeah, I think potentially they can, but here's the thing: it's writing to OP return, and I don't think that the CoinJoin erases OP return, the OP return field. So yeah, I mean,
but okay,
that would be it.
Well, it technically would still be lost, because if it mixed, it would get mixed, and the op return would be sent to another wallet, or does it stay in the original? I don't know, man.
No, that's a good question.
Here's the thing. So if the Samurai devs were available right now, if they were not under massive scrutiny, so I mean, I feel, yeah, here's the thing, man. Their first ever Twitter Spaces that they ever agreed to do, yeah, with yours truly. So
we got some legendary people on this stream, ladies and gents. I don't think you guys understand.
You know, that's why we call this thing as a suggestion. I can't remember who suggested it, but 3 Wise Men, and it just happens to be a Wednesday. So 3 Wise Man Wednesday, and wise would be an emphasis on the OG-ness that we exert over
preach, Reverend.
Everyone from our cryptocurrencies.
Preach, Reverend Rice. That flows right off the Reverend Rice. I like that. Reverend Rice and Deacon Blood. Hey, man.
Deacon Blood.
Yeah. Honestly, you should go get like a minister's license or something.
I think we should do a comedy hour stream, bro. I've never done it, but I think if I put my head to it and actually had an outline of what I was going to talk about, Rice, you do the same. Seth, I think you got some dry humor there. We might make this a hit. We may make this the what's his name?
This would actually be something that would be worthy of taking on the road, as you had the idea of doing one time.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, imagine that we had like 3 sets of doing like 30 minutes, 20 minutes of comedy each, and then this little break in between, and then the 3 of us get together and maybe do a live podcast.
Bishop Blood. I like Reverend Rice and Bishop Blood.
Then we got to think of something for Mind Your Biz.
Minister Mind.
Minister Mind. Minister. Minister Biz.
Minister.
That sounds like a Drucker Christ, man.
I'm done, bro. I can't take any more of this. I can't. I can't, bro.
Funny. It is pretty funny. I'm starting to like tear up a little bit.
Oh my God, Bishop Blood. Good one, Crypto City. Love it.
Minister Biz and Reverend Rice.
Oh my God.
MYB the monk. Jeez,
man, it's too funny. Runes have one utility, that is the NFT is forever and not a JPEG on someone's website.
Well, but the question is, every single protocol that we're talking about that does an NFT on Bitcoin, whether it's prunable or not, is on chain. Just so we can be specific with that. Unlike all the other chains that are proof of IPFS and proof of storage, proof of cloud, whatever the case might be. Because to me, it was before the Ordinals. The way I understood it was BSV was one of the few blockchains that actually offered on-chain NFTs, and I'm not a fan of BSV. And it, made me throw up in my mouth saying it, but it was truth.
So, highlight Trinity Love's question, because maybe Seth knows this, maybe not. I don't know. Can you tell me what a cursed inscription is?
I just made a comment. You can pull it up on screen.
There we go. See, he's on it. Minister Biz is on it, ladies and gentlemen.
What the hell does that explain?
Oh my! Oh my
God! There's a story behind this. There's a story behind this.
In layman terms,
is there an op return for Coochie?
There could be.
Okay, there we go.
So here's the thing. I'm joking, but here's the thing. Before there were cursed inscriptions, there were just cursed OP return spam, right? There was on-chain spam in Bitcoin. And behind the stupid comment I just made, there's an actual story. I'm good friends with a guy who was a Bitcoin developer from 2010 moving forward. So he tried the whole DeFi on UTXO's thing, the OP return spam thing. And the way that he got his start trying it out was we were just talking earlier on about base 64. You guys remember?
Yeah.
How you can convert data into base 64. Well, he took a D pic of himself, translated it to base 64, and wrote it to the Bitcoin blockchain.
Wow.
One of these things, it's kind of interesting what it said just off the top was it's a subset of Bitcoin ordinals that have become quite popular. No, it didn't show up in the top part of what I was looking at, but it was talking about having it. The term cursed ordinal inscription emerged when it was discovered that some people had inaccurately used or intentionally misused opcodes to create inscriptions, leading to digital artifacts that the Ord software couldn't identify. And it gives 4 different ways that they can be created, but
yeah,
I still don't understand that.
I don't know what that means.
That's way above my pay grade here. It's going right.
Yeah, no. So
it's like the first time I interviewed Fluffy Pony.
Yeah, I was being kind of ridiculous before with the cursed OP return, but it's just a formatting error. In like what you're showing right there, like to sum it up, it's just a formatting error for your ordinals. And so the software just can't read them well. It's like, I mean, you guys remember with MetaMask and like adding tokens and then adding NFTs early on, like a few years back, how it was like painful. And sometimes you couldn't track things down, or you didn't get previews on NFTs, and you still don't for certain collections in MetaMask. Right. So, yeah.
So, and also one of the things that sucks about all this is just the whole wallet situation. Like there's not a lot of options. I haven't seen any mobile wallets that work and function well. I actually put my ordinals recovery for into my Xverse wallet and nothing shows up. A lot of it's web-based. I input it also in Phantom and they're not showing up, and I have everything clicked on. So it's kind of interesting. So the only way I can interface right now with my ordinals and runes is via the website when I'm on a different computer. And
it's so anti-Bitcoin. It's so anti-cypherpunk, right? Where it's like you have to use a web wallet. It has to be a hot wallet. You can't use a hardware wallet signing device. And then if you tried to mix it and make it private, it's going to destroy it.
For me, I was going to make this statement. I think Bitcoin is past the event horizon, point of no return. I don't think we can ever get back to the original cypherpunk intention, the original Satoshi intention for the Bitcoin that we use today.
Well, the people that we would call that are cypherpunks, look at what they're doing today. A lot of them are, in a sense, just retired behind the scenes, not doing anything. And some of the more well-known ones, like Adam Back, seem to be part of the problem and not part of the solution.
Yeah, I think what's difficult is that when you the cypherpunk problem, I guess, or the cypherpunk dilemma is that, dude, everybody grows old, everybody dies. But there's the bottom line. Everybody grows old, everybody dies. Cypherpunks that were on the bleeding edge of all this stuff, right? Like I met David Chom in Dubai, which was super cool, by the way. But this is the man
interview him, Rice?
No. Actually, here's the thing. I've been trying to, obviously, I've been trying to do the interview, and someone I know is writing a book for him, so I'm trying to make it happen.
No,
but,
what it is
that Ken met him. Ken met him and said he looks like he hasn't brushed his teeth ever.
Oh my gosh! All I was gonna say is
that's an interesting fact. Thank you for that.
Which relevant. Man,
but he's
very relevant.
Yeah,
he's a super nerd. But that's what that was Ken. He said it last night.
I had the David Chom interview. Go ahead, Seth.
Just that he's growing old. Like when you meet him or when you interact with him today, it's obvious. Like, hey, I'm not going to get this shot at interviewing this guy 20 years from now. His best work is 20 years plus old, and you're not going to get. He's not going to be around forever. All the cypherpunks have this problem, and so they like when they're overly passionate about one pet project, right? In cryptography or in privacy, they sometimes edge themselves out of being able to earn anything from it. And so they wind up going back to figure out, all right, how do I monetize some of these efforts? It's also the free and open source software problem with incentivization not totally lining up with the bleeding edge of open source or privacy software. So they have to go commercialize it. And as they commercialize it, they get compromised. And then without them back, we've just seen it in slow motion over a lot of years, right? Where now
I'm wondering.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by it because of the misspellings and the weird things that are being said.
I have a David Chom interview on my channel that Amina did for me. And I'll have to go find it for you guys. I'll post it after the.
But that's the thing, and I'm glad that she got to do the interview, but I'm not 100% she really understood who she was interviewing.
Maybe not.
And that's and I mean, this guy just, even though I said he looks like he hadn't apparently brushed his teeth, this guy is considered the godfather of cryptography. And I'll pull it up here in a second, but if his Wikipedia page, basically, since I'm pulling it up now, I'll just go ahead and quote it directly. And also, if you look at a lot of talk on from just different Bitcoin developers and stuff back in the day, you'll hear the words Chomian and like Chomian mints. And there's a lot of verbiage that's related back to David Chom because of who he is. And here we go. I'll pull it up full screen and we'll do some Reader Digest enlargement to it. So it says his 1982 dissertation paper when I was 7 years old called Computer Systems Established, Maintained, Trusted by Mutually Suspicious Groups is the first known proposal for a blockchain protocol, complete with the code to implement the protocol. Chom's dissertation proposed all but one element of the blockchain later described in the Bitcoin white paper. He's referred to as the father of online anonymity and the godfather of cryptocurrency. I've heard more of the godfather of cryptography. So he developed eCash, the DigiCash system, which was the first electronic cash that came out after technically the IMF, which is the first digital currency to ever exist in 1969. But this guy wrote a dissertation paper in 1982 that proposed everything but the double spend problem in 82. And it took that long for whomever to figure out that double spend problem. We could have had technically like cryptocurrency existing way prior if there would have been somebody that could have solved that double spend sooner.
No, it's true. Well, we also
David Chom obviously wasn't. He couldn't do it because he had to use a centralized server. But he was now. DigiCash wasn't in existence. They were doing like bank transfers and stuff like that, money transfers. So it was being utilized. It was just very centralized.
Yeah. No, I mean, to your point, though, with timelines, we could have had flying cars before 2015, and we could have had, like brain upload, digital, brain interfaces, like Johnny Mnemonic style before 2021, like they said. Yeah, like we're going to take this back.
Are we taking this back to the Emerald tablets?
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about legit tech that you can find in the world right now that was just delayed because people couldn't figure out the right incentive model.
No, I agree. Or there was stifling of that technology, like what we see happening with Bitcoin, so that other people could still profit off of other things like oil.
Big time.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
that's been done a lot.
I mean, there was that young kid, Max something, that had come up with within the past 10 years. It come up with some free energy stuff. Young
0 point energy.
I think it was something that was dealing with magnets, but I'm not 100% sure. And he was very influenced by Nikola Tesla. And he, you could look up some YouTube videos. Somebody might know his last name, Max something. young guy, and he had mentioned one of the things that he was asking people that support what he's doing is to just do what they can to spread the information, because he, even at a young age, knew that people that had information like the information that he had ended up missing or dead. And as a young child, he was already thinking about those things, forward thinking. So,
well, that's what Dr. Stephen Greer preaches about a lot, making it open source, put it out there. Don't try to make $1 trillion
this must be
off
his
of it.
bot. I think this is Seth's bot.
I don't know this person, but it seemed basic.
Yeah, that's why I think it's your bot. That's why I think it's your bot, your basic bot that you're using.
It might. Okay, I was gonna say, look, either they're gonna come out and say something, or this is gonna be one of my kids trolling us right now. But
cool.
It's summer, man. It's summer, and they know that they need to be doing their enhanced study of crypto. And because, dude, right now, look, we said this last week. It's the most degen industry ever. Could you imagine being a teenager, summertime, got a little summer job to get some spending cash in your pocket, and you got a market like this to go play with? Knowing what you know now.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's so Basic is not a troll. He's real, and he's not a bot. Not
a bot. I'm 40 years old. What's your social security number? Drop that in the chat room.
Yeah, what's your address?
You're 40. Drop your address, social security, and your maiden's name, your mother's maiden's name.
Not a kid.
Yeah.
Not a kid.
Yeah, there you go. Here's the thing. I'm gonna guess also that Basic is not is a foreign national. Basic is not an American citizen, right?
Yeah, not.
This is fun now. Yeah, 20 questions.
We got basics, we got defaults, we got Coca-Colas.
700 equal 34 minus 6. What the fuck?
That sounds like a bot. Yeah. That sounds like a bot.
That's
you know what? No, okay.
Okay, go ahead. He's cracked the code.
I know it is. Don't worry about it.
Is this a cicada? Is this a cicada? What is it? 3-1. What's the cicada? No, the cicada game.
Yeah, the puzzle thing. The encryption puzzle.
The encryption puzzle. Cicada.
I don't know this. I don't know.
Oh man, you got to be kidding me. Cicada. Is it 3
American
1?
living in
Someone
Thailand.
help us out.
Well, Basic. Let's keep this intriguing. I'm one of the people in crypto who would gladly, if you provide airfare to do a face-to-face meeting, I will do it sight unseen without knowing who you are.
Cicada 3301.
Just airfare, not like hotel.
I mean, whatever. Once you get to
accommodations,
sure. I guess
it is cheap out there, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, you want to be on the channel? Line it up in Thailand. Let's do it upright. Plus, we'll go say hello to some people out there. But
word up,
I'm down. Yeah.
So you've never heard of Cicada 3301?
Cicada 3301 does not ring a bell. No.
Wow,
it was like a sort of like a not necessarily anonymous, but an anonymous type group that would recruit hackers and people who are able to break these encryptions and codes by putting out these puzzles. And I think the Cicada 3301 was part of all that.
Oh yes,
it started in 2012.
Yes. You know, it's funny. I remember when it was happening. I was living in Austin, Texas at the time, and working for a technology company. And this was we talked about nerdy stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I had forgotten about that entirely. The challenge, and I just call the Cicada 3301 just didn't ring a bell. But the puzzles and the fact that it was kind of like, like a recruitment ceremony thing was
almost CIA-ish, if you
probably
ask
was.
me.
Yeah, it probably was a 3-letter agency.
So here it is. Pulling it up, it says it's the name given to 3 sets of puzzles posted under the name 3301 online between 2012 and 2014. The first puzzle started on January 4th, 2012 on 4chan and ran for nearly a month. The second round of puzzles. And then it says the stated intent was to recruit intelligent individuals by presenting a series of puzzles to be solved. No new puzzles were published on January 4th, 15. A new clue was posted on Twitter January 5th, 2019. They posted the last verified open PGP signed message April 2017, denying the validity of any unsigned puzzle.
Bro, all you got to do is delete the C, the D, and the A, and you got CIA. That's it.
All you got to, and here's the other thing. How do we know that Charles Hoskinson isn't involved? Because all you got to do is delete the CIC, and it's Cardano.
Yeah.
It's rabbit holes way too deep,
is
guys.
Charles Hoskinson still mad at you?
Could have been one person who was 33. I don't think he was ever actually mad.
I don't know. He sounded a little upset.
No, I mean, I've got to get in touch with his people to reschedule that original interview that I canceled.
No, I'm just saying he sounded triggered when you brought up Mrs. Whitney Webb. He sounded a little triggered.
So there was a Spaces for Billy Goat Tales, Seth, that had happened, and Crow was on, and I guess Charles's board saw that Crow was on, their friends, and Charles got involved in space. And he started talking about some things, and I think he brought up the Whitney Webb stuff on his own, and I was already going to ask something in relation to what Whitney Webb has been doing on research. And when I brought her name up or whatever, it turned into this whole thing about him being accused of some sort of like chomo type stuff. That there's that well, I'm trying to be careful. There was Ben Gertzel, Dr. Ben Gertzel. He's apparently has some association with Jeffrey. You know, the furry wall, Jeffrey Epstein Island furry wall.
Jeez.
And so there was apparently she had done some sort of connection of Charles being mixed up in some of that possibly, and he was really what was like when somebody's guilty and they're trying to like deflect, what's the word, what do you call that?
Like incredibly, like overly defensive.
It was very defensive in a sense. It's
called a Democrat. Round of applause.
Would you say that though?
Yeah, I said it. It's called a Democrat.
He was defensive.
I don't know. Blood, I think Joe.
But
Biden
I wasn't accusing him.
He says you're not allowed to celebrate Juneteenth anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't celebrate Juneteenth because I didn't vote for Biden, so I'm not black. Round of applause for Crypto Blood not being black.
That's right, man. That's what Biden said.
Executive Order number 3301.
33.
No Juneteenth for blood.
Executive Order 3301. I love it.
That's too much,
funny, man.
That's too much. Okay, so I'm going to pull up on screen our Twitter account so you guys can make sure that you're following us. Again, we have links down below for each other's channels in the video description, so make sure you're following us on the X. You can find Seth Mind Your Biz at @mindyour_biz. You can follow CB, my brother from another mother, at CryptoBlood_. He also happens to be the head designer at Coochie Meme. And you can also follow me on the X at RiceTVx. And make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channels. We're going to continue trying to do this thing on Wednesdays for the Three Wise Man Wednesday. But I guess before we do like any sort of wrap up, because I guess it's getting close to that time, you guys have any final thoughts, or was there anything that we needed to cover? We could do more dives into this subject as well, but anything that we need to go over, or are you guys ready to wrap up?
I don't know, bro. I don't know what you guys' schedule is like tomorrow or maybe Friday. We may have to do an emergency meeting like the Tate brothers.
Okay.
For this Reggie situation.
The Tate. Oh, you like the Tate brothers? I'm like, okay.
Like the Tate brothers.
I saw something earlier where apparently Crypto Banter dressed up as Andrew Tate for a live stream. The South African, what's his name? Neutered.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta cover this, bro. This is pretty upsetting.
The Reggie stuff.
Yeah.
Let me is there stuff on his X account?
I didn't get a chance to finish the Sarah Hall interview.
Westall, you mean?
Sarah Westall. Sorry, Westall.
I did get. You want to repeat what you said to me?
No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't notice it until nice. You said it, though. You said it first publicly, and I just repeated privately.
Right. Okay.
So, do you want to say what you said the other day publicly?
Oh yeah, she's an. I think she's an awful interviewer, and she has no energy, and it's it's a travesty for anybody having to like sit through an important conversation with that being the other voice. That's all. I'm sure some people say that about me, so it's all good. So what is this though?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
what is this? Like this is 9 hours ago. What is he getting a Wells notice for in the matter of Ethereum 2.0? Is this going to Reggie? I don't see Reggie's name on here.
you see this base? You see this basic?
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
Yeah. Well,
the structure of everything is.
Well, no, we have a founder on our hands here. There's somebody who's building something. They're excited about it. They want they want an opportunity to express all the hard work they've done so far.
Hey, man, I'm for it. Bishop Blood is for it.
I thought I had it on the screen. So yeah, this is from Reggie's account after
bring it full screen so we can see a little bit more.
Okay, let me go back.
Take us on.
There we go. So it's aggressive defenses of working. This is the result of consensus suing the SEC. So this is in regards to, I guess, the SEC, the Ethereum investigation being over. So he shared that. He's sharing the interview with Sarah Westall. Let's see here. What is he like? What is he in trouble for? What's going on right now without me having to listen to that interview? I don't.
Yeah, right. Can we feed the transcript to ChatGPT?
I'm not seeing SEC
right here.
Is the SEC coming after him again? But this is one of 10, so there would have to be 10 of these from
so
April
click there.
18th.
Scroll up. Well, yeah, there you go.
ETHgate. Okay, so ETHgate exposing the SEC and targeting and the debt box case proving organization bad faith. They got in trouble because they lied or something in this case, and lost a lawsuit, and I think had to pay money, restitution or whatever the case might be. Could it be possible the SEC targeted Reggie Middleton, a true inventor of DeFi and Veritasium, to pave the way for the chosen favorite Ethereum and the infamous free pass? Let's examine the evidence. Okay, but this doesn't mean that Reggie's in trouble now. So why would Reggie be going to court? I'm still really confused. Because this is all just talking about what Reggie did and what happened, it looks like, in regards to the SEC and other projects and what the SEC did to him in Veritasium. But where are we at now? Is there something I'm missing, Blood? Have you looked into this?
I have not. I was, in the middle of trying to digest Sarah Westall's interview.
Okay.
So I have to double back. But I know Jay Crypto Minded made some mention of a court case tomorrow, which was the first of my knowledge about that situation.
Well, that one person tagged me in a thing asking me, tell me I should cover Reggie Middleton, like I've never covered Reggie Middleton. But they did have a link for a, I don't know if it was a fundraiser. I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel bad for Reggie's situation. In his situation, I just also look at the current state of DeFi and man, I don't know how to make sense of.
You're an open source person, dude. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think that you're an open source person and that you're not a fan of people holding patents and
I'm not either.
Yeah,
I'm not either.
We've talked about that. Yeah, we've talked about that, and that is kind of the rub for me, Rice. Is that with open source stuff right now, the current state of things, we've got so many protocols that allow you to trade permissionlessly, and some of the methods that are described by Reggie are just overly broad. Right. I still think that some of his claims are they're just too sweeping. Not that I think he doesn't have some legitimate claims. I think he does, but I think they're just too sweeping. And I think right now, with so many other innovations going into the sort of DEX, AMM, even the sort of like new decentralized order book, whatever, that's becoming a trend now too. there's so many ways that DeFi is being done that have just like, I don't know how he could claim that everybody owes him some kind of licensing fee. I'm not sure if that's feasible. Like, I just don't know if it's ever going to go this way.
It's probably not feasible. And when I've had him on to interview about it,
No,
we've already shared that. We've already shared that one time, and
I
I
might need to share.
Buddy,
one
that's
more
my
time.
channel. That's my channel. That just went out on my channel, and please no.
No, that's why I skipped over it really quickly. I don't think anybody really would have.
I just, I asked him that too. Like, I think it's too hard to attack or how do you want to say this? It's too hard to enforce that patent, in my opinion. But at the same time, I'm for him and supporting him because of what I saw happen to him, and that what the SEC did to him, I thought was unjust. I really did. So I'm kind of like supporting him because of that, because of what they did to him. That's
what it says here. What it says here at this specific website,
they're suing him. They're fining him $1 million, is what Jay Crypto Minded said.
The New York court has frozen Reggie's assets, putting his patent at serious risk of theft. However, they underestimate the support of Reggie's community. So what I'm not understanding is what is this stemming from? Because his situation with the SEC and Veritasium is done. Whatever assets got taken from him are gone. That I understand. He's tried to pursue some lawsuits to defend his intellectual property, his patent, and
we've got to watch it. I guess that's what we got to finish. Well, I have to finish watching it. You have to start watching it.
I'm surprised he didn't reach out to us as supportive as we've been to him.
I am too. I am very surprised.
So it's kind of alarming, if there is something serious going on with him, that he wouldn't be trying to get as much coverage as he could versus Sarah Westall. Like, she's not going to save the day, okay, guy?
She gets the views.
Yeah,
I guess because being a woman.
She's also had her YouTube channel, I think, since the whole thing started, which obviously she hasn't improved her game in that amount of time.
She's what?
She's had her channel for a long time.
How long?
I guess we could go to her channel and just see, but I'll try to locate it. Sarah Westall. She's not even a crypto content creator. She's just a lady who does interviews with sometimes crazy people, sometimes normal people.
Okay.
Has she interviewed Cliff High? I think so, right?
Probably. Well, her channel, maybe she's lost channels because this channel is down to 2.92 subscribers.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting.
Good
for her, good for him. This is important, man. No, it's good. It's good to have their.
Well, I'm glad it's getting exposure. I'm just glad it's getting some exposure. Just so yeah, we definitely have to reach out to Reggie and find out what's going on. I have a tattoo appointment tomorrow, and then Friday morning I have the 6th internet technician coming out to work on my shit.
Yeah,
sounds like some CIA.
No, honestly, man, I think the more like this is going on, like I think it has something to do with the construction across the street from my house did something to the lines.
But is everyone else having the issue in your
no one live streams? So like download speed versus upload speed is a completely different thing.
True.
So no one else I know that lives near me is live streaming like I am. So that's the only time I have a problem is during the live streams.
Okay.
And I'm directly plugged in with a Cat 6 Ethernet cable. So it's crazy. And like as I told you, Blood, my antenna, I mean, you'll notice it will fluctuate and show me my signal is on my monitor for my internet's going down to like 1 bar. Sounds like some Jerry Springer conspiracies. What would you know about this?
My God, man. All right, man. It's been real. That we can end on that.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, no, I think for me, I think final thought on all these protocols. I think we didn't, we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole of usability, long-term incentives, security, miners. It's a complex thing, right? That is my final argument, I guess, is that with runes and with stamps, it's a complex ecosystem that we're trying to build up. But I mean, if the market is saying that it wants it, if we are seeing that retail is buying some of this stuff, then I'm all for it. In the same way that right now, I'm all for pump.fun. I'm all for people launching their stuff on Pink Sale. I'm all for people launching new collections on OpenSea, not because I think these are great platforms, but because I want to see more people in the retail sector win. So if runes help you win, have at it. If stamps help you win, then do it. If you see a liquidity vacuum on one of these other new protocols and you think that you have a network that can come in and start buying stuff up, have at it. I just want to see more permissionlessness. I want to see more retail get unwrecked right now because people have been suffering for a couple of years, man. So that's my thoughts.
Seth, Basic wants to make sure that you got their message.
I checked my messages, and even on the message requests, I don't have anything from today. So either you're being slowed down or I am.
Or all the above. Any final thoughts, Blood?
Yeah, I just think this whole situation with the runes, inscriptions, and everything is trying to put a square peg into a round hole. Bitcoin, unfortunately, is not Turing complete. It won't ever be able to scale the way that your Ethereums, your Solanas, your Avalanches, and et cetera, are able to scale. And I just say, hey, we missed that opportunity, that window to scale Bitcoin for whatever reason. We have our theories. I think Rice and I are on the same page on why that was stifled. But you got to just leave Bitcoin as that speculative hedge against inflation long term. It's done well. I think that's where it's going to be.
Well, one of the things I want to add is I think that from what I comprehend from some of the stuff that Satoshi had written is ultimately the vision would have been like multiple development teams that were working separately to do improvements to the Bitcoin protocol, kind of competing against each other for the improvements. If we could get to that kind of world where we're not just having Bitcoin Core in charge of what's happening to Bitcoin, that could open up a lot of possibilities. I think the idea is really cool to do all these things on chain, on Bitcoin, and create this ecosystem within Bitcoin itself. But without actually scaling Bitcoin, this is not going to be conducive for the network by any means, because when we have flares of excitement and we start seeing more attention being brought to these technologies, you'll start seeing more congestion in a network and higher transaction fees again. And that's a complete opposite of what I believe Bitcoin was created for. And ironically, even in Roger Vere's book, Hijacking Bitcoin, he talks about Vitalik Buterin making fun of Bitcoin for having like $2, $3 transaction fees, which were supposed to be high for Bitcoin at the time.
It was.
But look at fucking Ethereum.
Yeah.
They have second layers to, so he's become a big hypocrite with a lot of his words, because I want to say to him,
I don't think he's become I just think it's the evolution and it's a path unknown. We're traveling down the path unknown, and there are unintended consequences for growth and scaling, and that's part of it. I don't think he intended because Ethereum transactions were very low for a long time.
Yeah, well, his quote specifically was nobody should have to pay more than 5 cents for the for internet money, like for a transaction. Right. So like that aged like aged like raw milk.
It didn't age well at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like milk. So like just take a little carton of milk and take it outside on the hottest day, open it up and just let it sit there. And then when it gets nighttime and the sun goes down, get that milk and drink it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're streaming on all 3 of our X accounts, all 3 of our YouTube channels. I'm streaming on my Rumble channel. We have links for each other's channels down below in the video description, links for what we talked about on today's show. make sure you smash that like button. Before we wrap things up, I encourage you, as always, to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch that you want to see in this matrix. Be the change that you want to see in this world. Know yourself. Question everything. And until next time, do that practice change thing.
RiceTVx, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
What I was found, see mainly the stands, evergreen at the sun.
Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice the Pitbull, breaking the chain.
I'm gonna go
in the arena where truths collide. RiceTVx, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
That's how we do it, people. How we roll. Smack them like booties. Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to all of the channels. Following us on the X side. Much love.